covering the community, events, and people of Georgia, Carolina. This is the Means Report. Here is Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Means Report. We are so grateful that you're watching. Happy to have you with us on this Sunday where autumn is almost upon us, is it not? The weather is certainly starting to indicate that a change is coming. And speaking of change, we're going to dedicate the next 27 minutes or so to change, the things that are new on the horizon for the CSRA. And we have a couple of experts in-house to help guide us through that. First, we're going to talk about the upcoming Innovation Summit, a wonderful annual event hosted by Georgia Regents University, where really we take a look at good ideas that people have out there and look at ways to turn those good ideas into great products and services. It is a fascinating day at the Kroc Center. I'll let you know all about it with a lot of help from our expert on the set of the Means Report. Also ahead, we're going to talk about a program in place at a local school where they're saying pretty much goodbye to textbooks and hello to technology, getting those students ready for change and for the future. And then we're going to close with a story to leave you on a high note. We try to end on a positive note each time here on the Means Report, and the story about the generosity of a child, I promise, will do just that. But first, I want to welcome back to the set of the Means Report Chris McKinney from Georgia Regents University. Chris is the Associate Vice President for Innovation Commercialization at GRU. Chris, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
What is innovation commercialization? Before we even talk about this Innovation Summit, what's that mean?
That really means taking great new ideas and moving them from the early conception and early development all the way into the marketplace as products or services that can help people.
So is your part of GRU like a think tank slash incubator for new ideas? Can we picture it like that?
There sure is that element to it. We literally have an incubator. We live in an incubator at GRU. And our idea is to really tap into the creativity and innovation of our faculty, staff, and students. And so all of GRU in some ways is a living incubator from which we draw.
All right, so you do it for a living. You have that incubator on campus. What led to last year's idea of the Innovation Summit? I found it quite fascinating, and we're going to talk a lot about it. But why'd you say, hey, we need to sort of go public with this?
I think it's about giving back. I mean, what we do is exciting. It's gratifying, it's important, but it's about giving back to our community and region, because a lot of people in our community don't realize what universities like GRU do in terms of not just great science or education or patient care, but also taking some of these great things and moving them into products and services that make a difference.
And excuse me, this is the third, boy, time is getting away from us, the third Innovation Summit that you all have had. I think it is an incredible opportunity for the public to come out and see what's on the horizon. Talk about, I don't know if we'll get you to list your favorite thing from this year's summit, but give me a highlight or two of what's going to be on stage.
We're going to have a lot this year. You're going to hear a lot of different very cool talks, see wonderful sessions, Shark Tank. You're going to see a terrific session on 3D immersive education.
What's 3D immersive education? I have a headmaster coming on after you. What is 3D immersive education?
This is helping people learn in what feels like a realistic environment, and you can try things that you would not want to do in the real world. And in fact, this particular technology was developed initially in an Army context to train for combat, and now is being redone in the civilian world to help, for example, nurses.
So you're stepping into a video game, only difference is it has real world applications.
Very much so.
What about life-saving over-the-counter medications? I mean, the health sciences endeavors going on at Georgia Health Sciences are known worldwide. What are you going to put on the stage at the Kroc Center in a few weeks?
We are very excited to actually bring back a keynoter from a couple of years ago. His name's Jordan Eisenberg. He's a serially successful entrepreneur and a former student of mine from some years ago, who has a company called Regents, which does packets of powder sublingual, that is, you put them under your tongue, medications, some of which save lives. Jordan's going to tell you the story about where he's been and where he's going.
Now, it wouldn't be a summit that focus is on the future. If we didn't go green for a while, recycling is a key component this year, right?
It is. We have some segments on that, talking about new ways of thinking of recycling. You know, we have recycling, but then there's new recycling. You're going to learn more about that at the summit.
What are some of the things that might be recycled that we might not aware of? We talk about recycling things that typically we wouldn't. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I think we don't want to take too much of the surprise from the event.
Sure.
But let me say that I think you'll be intrigued by the different slant on recycling. We've had everything from the manual approach to separating things to the all-in-one approach. This one might be a little bit different, so you'll want to see it.
Remember last year we had the pine straw guy?
I do.
It was fascinating, folks. This man from right here in the CSRA talked about his pine straw exporting business, where he takes Georgia pine straw, sends it up to the Northeast, and yards up there are filled with our pine straw, and it seems like a pretty darn successful operation.
It is.
Chris, how often have you seen, and I know this is just the third year, it's in its infancy, but how often or how easy is it to see the ideas that are discussed at the summit turn into products and services that we can see out there in the marketplace?
It's very realistic.
Mm-hmm.
These are ideas that are either becoming or certainly may become great products and services. What we really want people to see and to share with us is the excitement of the fact that they can do this too. This summit really is not about putting people on a pedestal and saying, look what he or she did.
Right.
I can't relate to that. This summit is about saying these are ordinary people to whom you can relate, and you can do this too.
Well, and that's exemplified in no better way than the Shark Tank segment of the Innovation Summit, where the audience gets to see how real businessmen and women respond to these ideas. Tell me about that. It's like the TV show, right?
It is. We have real investors, we have real guppies, our term for the participants, with real companies, new ideas, a lot of promise, a whole lot of energy, and they're going to be on stage, being grilled, being interrogated a bit, if you will, but in a kind way, and in some ways sharing with the audience what's special about their companies, and also really preparing themselves for those later pitches in their careers to these and other investors.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, because these are real pitches. These people, these innovators, are trying as hard as they can to impress these investors. What do you say to these, I don't want to say kids, what do you say to these young up-and-coming entrepreneurs before they take that stage? Pretend like it's real?
Oh, it is real.
Yeah.
It is real.
Those investors might really respond to them, and then after the event is over say, yeah, I'll back you.
They might, and they very well, if it's not their area of investment interest, refer them on to colleagues for whom it is.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Well, talk about how the public can attend. I want to make sure that they have all the information they need. It's a great way to spend a day at a beautiful venue.
Well, this is an event that GRU and the Savannah River National Lab have co-anchored. We've made this, again, our third annual. We and the laboratory want this to be a giving back to the community event. Thus, we fully sponsored it, which is another way of saying it's free to attend.
You don't pay to get in.
You don't pay to get in. You get a lot of value, but you don't have to pay to get in because we want a broad audience there. And we have a website, which is www.gru.edu/OIC/summit. That site has information, registration, the whole thing.
What time should people show up at the Kroc Center October 6th?
As early as 8 a.m., we'll be giving them breakfast.
Okay, breakfast, and then when does it end that day?
4:30.
8 to 4:30 that day. Y'all, I cannot tell you if you want to just take the day off, or if October 6th is typically your day off, or if you are retired. I know we have a lot of retired folks watching the Means Report. Make your way to the Kroc Center. Come up and say hello to Chris, or say hey to me, and let us know you saw it on the Means Report. The Innovation Summit, I think it's a wonderful idea. I think you've executed it well. How's everybody taking the name change over there, by the way?
It's an exciting time.
Yeah?
We are looking forward to branding this place with Augusta all over it. We're going to go out into the world and I think do some wonderful things, taking what's already a great institution really on to the next level.
Have you gotten your new business cards ordered?
Oh, that's going to be a little while.
That's going to be down the road. Well, I know the community is fired up for you, and thank you for all you all do in this town at Georgia Regents, and thank you for this Innovation Summit on the 6th.
Thank you, Brad.
Absolutely. Chris McKinney. When we come back, Ned Murray, headmaster of Episcopal Day School, to talk about how textbooks are taking a bit of a back seat to technology over there on campus as the Means Report continues.